Right, managed to get out for a bit of fishing over the Christmas period. So all I'm doing today is because it's so all the beaches are really busy around here. If I turn and come around, you'll see it's actually streaming full of people. So I'm just going light. I'm just fishing off the rocks here. I've just got my my estuary rod, 19-pound main line, 50-pound leader, onto a running ledger. And with a watch weight. This is a 4-ounce watch weight. There's a bit of current running here. The tide's going out, and as it comes back in again, the current picks up again even more. But we'll see what happens. So on that, I've got what, about 2.5 foot of 30-pound amnesia, and then I've just got a single. I like using these hooks here. A single. I think it's a 2.0 semicircle hook. It's not a full-on circle hook. And then I've got, you can see that, a bead and a little plastic stop. Bait-wise for today, all I'm going to use is, I've dug some lugworm yesterday, so I put on a few lugworm on there, and then push down the bait stop itself. What I'm actually after is, well, normally I get plenty of school bass from off here. The odd occasion I do get the flounder, so that's what I'm after, the flounder. However, as we all know, the weather over this sort of the autumn and now into winter has just been atrocious. It's just been rain after rain after wind after wind, and unfortunately with the River Exe, because this is the mouth of the River Exe, the water just stays brown. There's just so much debris being washed down the river, and it just completely kills the fishing. So normally for October, November, December, I have some really good fishing for flounder, but I just haven't had the chance to get out and be able to fish. So I'm down here. I can fish, normally fish an hour before low tide. Police helicopter going up above. Normally I can fish down here an hour before low water, and maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours of the flood, depending on how the tide comes back in. If it's a bit too rough and choppy, then you've only got about an hour or so before you get pushed further along the rock marks and just be casting into the rocks. When I'm fishing here, I don't cast very far, 30 to 50 feet or so, and then again, it all depends on how much debris is in there, because the tide, like I said, running in and out. You know, your line could be completely swamped full of weeds and branches and all sorts of things, but fingers crossed it's going to be all right today. So let's bait up and get this one out there. Okay, I've been getting lots of little taps and a few big sort of slow pull downs, which are crabs. So there's plenty of little bass about, but this is the biggest one so far. So if I can get something, you know, of about £3 or something, then I'll be happy. But yeah, just nice to get to actually get a few bass in the conditions that they are. So the tide is about to turn soon, so I've probably got about another half hour or so, because it looks like it's going to be quite choppy to see. So I'm I'm gonna have to move over to the other mark, and I can stay there for a little bit longer. But yeah, nice to get a bass anyway. Well, after catching a couple of small bass the other day from the rocks, I've moved further down the estuary, or into the estuary, down by the slipway here, and I'm just going to try again for either some bass or some flounder. Conditions are good. I mean, it's nice and calm out there now, getting a little bit of clarity to the water, and the tide's it's coming back in now, so hopefully as it gets darker we might pick up a flounder. Setup is exactly the same rod, running ledger, and I've got a few different types of hook and hook lengths that I've got on my rig wallet there to try out, but I'm just starting off with, I've got a size 1 hook onto again 30 pound, a little bit of peeler crab, a little bit of lugworm left over from the other day, and a few beads on the stop just to push it in. So that's what I'll be trying on. I've got some bigger hooks, and I'll probably use them later on as it gets dark to see if I can pick up something slightly bigger. They're size 3/0. The good thing about those sizes is I still have flounder on a Pennell 3/0 hook, baited up with a good sized peeler crab. So yeah, this is a lovely evening. Like, the sun's just about to set. It's nice and warm at the moment. Let's see what happens. Right, I've come down to the estuary again to fish for flounder. We've got an evening tide, so it's 4 o'clock now, 6:30 is evening tide. I'm coming up to spring tides now. I've just went out and dug some lugworm, so I've got quite a big lugworm, and they've got a few frozen peelers which I might try later. But yeah, it's calm weather, the water's a little bit clear, so it's looking good. I haven't been down here for over a year or so, I think fishing here. This is, if those that know where it is a good mark. It has produced some nice bass for me, and also it does well in the autumn months, getting into winter for flounder itself. But I've never fished this side of Christmas for flounder in this actual spot itself, but hey, I'll see how it goes. I'm going to fish for a few hours or so and see what happens. Right, little setup that I use here is I've got the Tronics Pro cool bag, which has got on each corner it's got a little bit of Velcro straps so you can put it onto your tripod. So in there I've got all my lugworm, baited needle, So my rag and a wet sponge as well to wipe my hands. Normally, like if I'm out beach fishing somewhere else or whatever, I'll make up a few rigs and hang them all ready, but I do it this way. I just bring it in and just let the actual hook itself just in reach there, so I can just bait up from here. Just the way I like to do it this way. And again, like I said, I was using the single hooks on a running ledger. Sometimes I might use 2 hook flappers, 3 hook flappers. And as we go into darkness, I'll increase the size of the hook as well to a 3/0 pennel, because some big bass have, like I said before, I've had some big bass off here, some nice sized bass, and I've also had flounder on the 3/0 pennels. Doesn't make any difference, and also depends how much bait I've got left. If I've got a lot of bait left, during to the end of it, I'll chuck out a great big bait. I'm not casting far. Again, it's just a lob out there, and hopefully as the flounder come in, they'll come in close and make their way up the estuary. Sometimes I find as well that it's just as good as I mean, we've got 2 hours or so now to high tide, but it's just as good as on the ebbing tide for the first hour or two. But I've had getting a few bites now, but the small bass, I've had a couple of small bass already. Nothing big, but like there is in the estuary, there's plenty of bass about. So I'm getting a few knocks now on my left hand rod. I can tell straight away that's a small bass. It's not a flounder. Well, I had to come back to my other rod and had a slackline bite, and yeah, nice little bass there. So yeah, cracking little fish. I was hoping to be a flounder, but I mean I'm happy now. I've got a nice fish. You know, if it was like I said, 3 or 4 times the size of that, that would be in corker, but nice little estuary bass.